Welcome everyone to the V2X Files video series. I'm Balázs Tóth, Communications Specialist at Comsignia. In this episode, we will explore how the V2X roadside unit can be the ultimate sensor in a city. Two of our engineers will answer questions that will pop up in front of them on a monitor. Enjoy!
So, hi everyone, this is Máté Lipcsei from Comsignia. I'm a product manager here. I'm responsible for the smart city products like OBUs, RSUs, the central management platform.
And my name is Aaron Kovács, a research manager for smart cities here at Comsignia. And we are here to answer the questions about vehicle-to-everything communication in this episode of V2X Files video series.
So for the topic for today is the V2X roadside unit, the RSU. It's basically the ultimate sensor for the cities. Okay, let's see the questions.
So Máté, how would you briefly explain the statement you saw previously?
The RSU basically is a device which is digitalizing the road infrastructure. What I mean by digitalization is that it's capable of creating digital signs, digital traffic light information. It's able to catch the digital footprint of a car if it's enabled with V2X technology, and it's even possible to be integrated with different sensors, which is also allowing us to digitalize pedestrians and other vulnerable road users, for example.
That's cool. So for me, RSUs are the ultimate sensor for the cities because they can help solve the problem they are facing in everyday transportation. So basically, to increase the traffic safety, to optimize the traffic, and to somehow to control the environmental pollution. And just by having two-way communication and by being capable of replacing some existing sensors.
Yeah. And what is V2X at all?
Yeah, it's a very good question actually. So V2X is the vehicle to everything, which is a vehicular communication technology that supports the transfer of information between the parts of the ecosystems like the infrastructure or the vehicle or even the traffic management centers. Actually, the main goal of the V2X is to connect these parts, these elements, in order to increase the traffic safety, to increase the quality of the data flows, and somehow to minimize the air pollution caused by the traffic. What are the building blocks for you?
It's kind of a complex system, I believe. So obviously we need to have devices or technology which is connecting the participants, the cars, vehicles, pedestrians, and the infrastructure. So we have to have some devices there as well. And this is basically meaning we have these two very important components. Of course, the one inside the vehicle is also connecting to different components in the vehicle as well. So we can read out the different operational parameters of the vehicle, if there's a hard braking, if the airbag has been deployed. And of course, the roadside unit can also do the same on the roadside, so it can talk to traffic light controllers. And of course, the RSU can also be managed from a central position, at which we can create different road events and deploy this information to the roadside unit. So basically, these three elements, the onboard unit, the roadside unit, and the central management system is the key elements for a V2X ecosystem. How is V2X getting installed on the streets?
The V2X is a very flexible technology in the sense of being capable of installing them almost everywhere. So,
from an RSU point of view, RSU needs to also have some kind of a power input, which is usually provided through PoE, that's a powered Ethernet connection. So basically that's used to make the RSU up and running. And usually RSUs are mounted on a higher place like poles or near to the traffic light heads basically. And this is how you just install an RSU. You need to just power it up. All the RSU antennas are basically assembled to the enclosure itself, and it's ready to go. And why do you think cities deploy V2X?
V2X deployments are inevitable in the future for the cities. So at the end, the cities will have an essential tool in their hands in order to create a digital twin of the given traffic infrastructure. Yeah, in a very cost-effective way, I guess.
I do believe that cities need V2X due to the fact that with V2X technology, we basically digitalize everything. We digitalize the road users, cars, vehicles, scooters, pedestrians. And by digitalizing all these participants, we are going to make it much more measurable than it has been before. Of course, having different ITS equipments, we could have a more detailed view on that. But having some kind of an intermediary sensor, which is describing what's going on in the traffic, might not give as accurate information as available via V2X. So in this regard, V2X is basically making it digitalized and making it a measurable something that we can store, analyze from historical point of view, but we can also make better predictions, because all the predictions that we can do with digitalized information, we are doing it on a very accurate data. So from accuracy point of view, V2X, I believe, is unbeatable.
How does sensor information become a V2X message?
There are some smart cameras which are able to identify objects on the camera stream, and they usually are able to talk this information and tell this to the RSU itself. The RSU is pretty much acting as an edge computing device here, and it's able to process the camera stream and the information extracted by the smart camera in real time. And it's able to translate it to V2X messages by applying all those different techniques that are necessary. There are multiple messages that an RSU might send out. Traditionally, it's not been easy to use the RSU to talk on behalf of other participants. Standards do not really prefer this way. Therefore, a new V2X message type has been introduced both in America and in the EU. In the EU, it's called CPM. In America, it's SDSM, so Sensor Data Sharing Message. And basically, we use these two messages to talk on behalf of other participants who are not V2X enabled.
Thank you. I think we can use a wide range of sensors in order to maximize the functionality of V2X. Okay. So there are, conventional sensors like loop detectors, for example. But on the other hand, there are smart ones like cameras, lidars, or radars that might be capable of identifying and classifying and tracking an object, for example, a pedestrian or a cyclist. On the other hand, we at ComSignia and the V2X in general is able to utilize this information coming from these smart sensors, as well as we will able to integrate them pretty easily. So all in all, I would say V2X is a pretty good position, because the smart sensors are filling the gap of advanced monitoring systems, at least until the V2X mass deployments hasn't arrived yet. But after that, the V2X can take over the place of these sensors, and can be the ultimate sensors for the cities.
Yeah, I agree. So in my opinion, V2X will be able to have a much bigger footprint among the participants, and V2X technology will become very widespread. So even more and more vehicles will be equipped with this technology, and there are lots of very interesting experiments and POCs available, how we can just involve vulnerable road users, pedestrians, cyclists, and scooter users.
Is creating a V2X message as easy as choosing the best emoji?
Oh, well, not really. So V2X is a pretty complex thing. The V2X communication is a very sensitive way of communicating, because it's described by standards. Standards are very important to make this communication interoperable, meaning that vendor A can talk to vendor B's devices. And therefore, the messages themselves are very, very well thought, and we have to be very careful when creating V2X messages to keep the standard compliances so that other participants can also understand what we are talking about. It's a team game at the end of the day.
So yes, but just summarizing what you mentioned before. So the all kind of messages has its own role and rule within the standards. So communication stack will know exactly always which one to use, and this is a completely automated process, and the user won't notice anything of this.
Yeah, so using the ComSignia software stack solutions is trying to ease this hard work to set up a V2X message as much as possible. And we are trying to provide as many tools and as many interfaces as possible so that users can really focus on the communication itself, so that they can only work on what they want to say, and we are trying to help them resolve the rest. So cities manage V2X messages multiple ways. We are trying to help all those cities as well to make it as easy as possible to use the RSU infrastructure as a communication device and use it as easily as possible. We are providing different software products that are enabling cities to easily create and deploy V2X messages to the road infrastructure. And other ways, it can be very hard when they are trying to set up V2X messages by hand and deploy it one by one. So that's not really the ideal way of creating V2X messages. But providing them this software solution is pretty much easing their life on this. Can I send the V2X message to the city as well?
Like me, I'm in trouble, help me.
Oh yeah, okay. So if I'm in trouble, can I just send the V2X message to the city?
Yeah, actually, that's why V2X is being deployed in the city. So, And Matti, are you personally annoyed if you get a message while driving?
Oh yeah, so do not
so
text
are you that
and
kind
drive.
of person?
No way, no texting and driving at the same time. So yeah, actually, it's a very important question to address all this information that is available for the driver to make it as less destructive as possible, because that's really could endanger their driving experience as well. So I do believe that the V2X communication, the cooperative technologies available should reach a point at which it's not a driver assistance solution, but it's something for the self-driving vehicles communicating their way forward. So basically, at the end, it should be something like a technology which is enabling self-driving vehicles to really coordinate their own movements. Today, of course, it's a driver's assistance solution, which is alerting the drivers for different safety critical scenarios, but it will evolve, of course, over time.
Yeah, so we have, but we also have to emphasize that the V2X is rather an enabler in the context of autonomous driving. So
yes.
it tries to complement this other
the traditional sensors available on the.
And I think they won't exist without each other in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How on average people will benefit from the messaging itself? What do you think?
And average people will benefit from messaging through the applications running on the devices, from my point of view.
They can get advanced notifications about different safety critical scenarios, so they have much larger reaction time to react.
Can you mention some of them?
Oh, sure. For example, if you are on a highway and someone in front of you, like 5 vehicles ahead, is having a very hard brake, you'll have this information immediately in your vehicle, and you can get notified. And this is very important because you will have seconds to react to this situation, unlike if you are just tailgating somebody else and it's happening immediately. You will not have any chance to just save yourself and your vehicle. Do you have V2X messages for horses or carriages?
Really?
Yeah.
Is this a real question?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there are horse riding cups in New York, so why not?
So do we have?
I think.
Yeah, actually, sure. There's a very large dictionary of what we can talk about using the V2X message. In the US, it's called ITIS codes, which is kind of a large dictionary that you can use to build up sentences describing really every possible scenario. So yeah, you can tell anything on the V2X language.
Yeah, I think the EU has the same.
Yes.
And actually, there are lots of stakeholder groups talking about these dictionaries to make it interoperable.
Yeah.
For example, the TISA or the ETSI.
Yeah. Yep. It's very important to really speak the same language and use the same sentences to describe a scenario so that everybody understands what's going on. Can you imagine a scenario where V2X brings extraordinary life improvements?
Yes, actually, if I had to choose just one segment, traffic transportation segment, I would definitely point out the traffic management.
Okay.
Because I think with the adoption of mainstream adoption of connected vehicles, we will enter the new age and the new era of traffic management that we might call connected traffic management later.
Oh wow.
And why? Because a huge amount of vehicle level real-time data will be available just by utilizing these ultimate sensors and by using V2X in general. And by collecting and having and processing these very detailed data, we will be, and the cities will be able to organize the traffic much more precisely.
Okay.
And by having much more precise data, they can add some additional functions and functionalities to their traffic management centers, like advanced data analytics. Okay. So, in my view, state-of-the-art methods like or methodologies like machine learning will play a significant role in the future.
Nice. In my point of view, having an improvement is like nowadays we do have VMS signs, so variable message signs, which are available in a couple of 10 kilometers or 10 miles in a highway. Basically, this is the communication channel through which I can get information about the traffic and what's going on the roads. But with V2X, I could get instantly real-time information about traffic management conditions and changes. And from a non-driver perspective, my life can be made better using this real-time communication because coordinating the traffic in a real-time manner can really just make the air cleaner for cities, for example. So different districts can benefit from having a coordinated way of having the traffic. And this is really impacting people living there, having a better air quality.
Yeah, this is the last one.
And then we start over again, and again, and again, and yeah.
I really like this format, guys. So finally, the last question. Does the data collection hurt people's privacy?
No. The whole V2X communication has been designed with privacy in mind. Basically, it's a kind of a privacy-first design. There are multiple levels and ways how we protect people's privacy. Just to give you a quick example, there's a technique which is basically changing all the specific identifiers of a vehicle in every 3 minutes. So basically, we are having a technique that's by design anonymizing all this information. So no, it's not hurting people's privacy.
And if you allow me to answer this question too, I would say you're right. So absolutely not possible to hurt people's privacy because V2X is a standard and secure way of communication. Actually, we use the PKI system, the public infrastructure system, that helps us to take care of the provision and the management of cybersecurity capabilities for V2X. And as you mentioned, you are very right. Change of pseudonyms and the anonymization is the key in order to not be incapable of tracking the user.
Yeah.